Hello and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time seeing this face, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Chisom. On this channel, I share sewing tutorial videos and fashion related content. Today, we'll be learning how to cut and sew this beautiful dress that you can see on me right here. This dress is very beautiful, as you can see. If this is something you would love to learn, keep on watching and let's dive straight into the tutorial. So guys, here I have my basic bodice pattern. Okay, so I just want to quickly run you through what I did here. It's just a basic block, like I said. Okay, so here I have my shoulder line, which I have marked out my shoulder. Here is my chest line, my bust point line, my under bust line, even though it wasn't necessary for this pattern. And here is the half length plus half-inch joining allowance to the skirt part. Okay, so my half length is 16.5 plus half-inch, that is 17 inches. So that is what I have from here to here. Now here I have measured my round bust circumference divided by 4, and I added 1 inch joining allowance. Here on the waistline, I have my waist divided by 4 plus this dart allowance and my joining allowance. I went ahead to shape out the side, and this dart here, I know most of us are familiar with this side. That this is where I reduce the difference between the front and the back block at the side, so that by the time I join the back to the front side by side, it's going to match up. And I connected it to the dart point. I just have this angle here, so that by the time I close this side dart, I will have this one will cover any shortage I have here. Okay, so for my neckline, I used 3 inches by 7 inches, and I used my straight ruler to connect that straight. So this gap you see here is me trying to tighten the neckline, because it's a V neckline. If I do not tighten it, it's going to gape, it's not going to relax properly. So that is why I came down by ½ inch from the top of the shoulder and connected it back to the shoulder line. Okay, so for my dart, I used 0.75 to open up my dart, and I connected it here. So that is all I have for this basic bodice pattern. So the main reason I prefer drafting my front part on a pattern paper is because of this side dart. We can actually remove it from the down, yes, when we are drafting directly on fabric, but I actually prefer when I draft it on pattern paper, and then I'll be able to close the side before I go ahead and cut it on my fabric. Is nothing serious anyway. So just in case you're wondering, why will I draft it on pattern when I can actually draft it on the fabric directly? And also, you can actually, if you want to have a side dart on the fabric, you can do that as well, but I don't want the side darts to be there. So that is also part of the reason I am drafting it on a pattern paper, so that by the time I close the side dart, I will only have this middle dart on the fabric. So I'll cut out the pattern now and cut it out on my fabric, and then we'll draft the back part on the fabric directly. So these are the materials I'll be using for this tutorial. I just want to show you what they look like. This is a shining poly. You can see it has a little bit of shine on it, and it's a medium thick fabric. I have it in 3 yards. And this is mercury organza. I have it in 6 yards. I don't know if I'm going to use all of it, but by the time I am done, I'll try to check how many yards that I used. And this is my 1-inch crinoline black color to match with the fabric. So these are the items I'm going to be using. So I'll go ahead and fold the fabric for the drafting of the back part, since we have already drafted the front part on the pattern paper. Okay guys, I have cut out the piece of fabric for the back part. Now the volume of fabric I cut out is enough to take my bust measurement divided by 4 plus my sewing allowance and zipper allowance. That is for the back part. Now I'm going ahead to mark the chest line. From here to here is my chest line, and then from the top to the bottom is the back waist length. Okay, so from the center back line I marked here, on the waistline, on the back waistline, I'm going to go in by 1 inch. This is, if you're already familiar with my pattern drafting, this is what I always do. Okay, this is how I always do it. Now I'm going to take it all the way from the waistline to the top. This method is called back tightening. Okay, if you want your back to relax so well on your body and you don't want the zipper to budge, this is how to go about it. You can use ½ inch, you can use 0.75. okay, but because of the way I love my clothes to come out, I always use 1 inch for my back tightening. So after this is done, I'm going to mark my shoulder divide by 2 plus ½ inch sewing allowance on the shoulder line. I'll mark it here and I'll also mark it on the chest line. Now I'm also going to follow this straight line here to mark the shoulder line. I'll slant the shoulder by 1 inch, coming from the center of the neckline side by 3 inches. Connect like this. Now I'm going to use 1 inch for my neck depth and 3 inches for the neck width. I'm going to curve it out. Now on the chest line, I'll measure my bust divide by 4 plus 1 inch sewing allowance and mark here. On this waistline here, I'll measure my waist divide by 4 plus sewing allowance 7 points. Now I'll connect the line from on the waist. Now I'll connect the line on the waist to the chest line. To cover out my armhole, I'll get the mid armhole. Here I have 7.5 inches. Half of that is 3.75, and then I will curve. So before I cut it out, I will add 1 inch zipper allowance. I'll connect from this 1 inch here to this 1 inch that I came in by on the waistline. So for the skirt part, I have cut out the length of my skirt, which when I add it to the upper part that I have cut, it will give me the full length. Okay, so now I'm going to place my tape on the starting line and mark my hip length. Move it across. So in case you're wondering, this is we're cutting the front and the back together. Okay, so I left this space for the back zipper. So this is the center front and center back. The center back has a zipper allowance. So I'm going to measure from the center back. So from the center front, I'm going to measure the waist divide by 4 plus sewing allowance. On the hip, I'll measure the hips divide by 4 plus sewing allowance. Now connect it. Now what I have on the hip, I have 11.2 is exactly what I'll place on the hemline. Also from the center front, 11.2. So I'll connect it all the way top. So that is all for the skirt part. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. So guys, I have sewn the dart on the upper front bodice and joined the upper part to the skirt part for the front and also the 2 back pieces right here. Okay, so the dress is coming together gradually. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and cut the strip for the flounce that is on the lower part. Now I'll get the organza, the mercury organza. Like I said, I have this in 6 years, but I am sure I'm not going to be using all of it. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut a very long strip of this organza, and I'll make the length is going to be as long as possible. I'm not going to measure, but I'll cut very long strip from this, and I'll measure 6 inches because I want to have 5 inches by the time I'm done sewing the crinoline to it. So when I cut out the long strip, I'm going to use this crinoline to hem the lower part, the edges of the organza. Okay, I'll sew by 1/2 inch on the wrong part. After sewing on 1/2 inch, I'll flip it inwards like so. Okay, and sew down the crinoline to the organza. I'll cut it out and then I'll demonstrate very well what I mean. So guys, this is what I was trying to explain. I have the long strip. I hope this is going to be enough for what I want to do, but if it's not enough, I'll still cut another one, but this one is really long. For the crinoline part, I placed it on the right side of the organza and sewed by 1/2 inch. This is the right part of the organza. Okay, so I placed the crinoline on the right side of the organza and sewed on 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to turn it over to the wrong side like so. You can see what I'm doing. This is the lower part. This is the part that will be attached on the outfit. Okay, so this is how it is. I'm going to fold it into the wrong part of the organza, and I'm going to top stitch at the top to help the crinoline to, you know, lay flat on this organza. And then I'll go ahead and split it. Now to attach the organza on the outfit, I'm going to, from the lower part, I'll come up by 12 inches. I want to have 3 layers of this organza on this body part. Okay, so I'll come up by 12 inches. I'm going to mark that. So on this mark right here, on this 12 inches that I came up by, okay, is where the first layer of the organza is going to be placed. Okay, what I'm going to do is, for the first layer, I'll take it up, place the right side on the right side of the right side of the organza will be on the right side of the dress. I'll place it upwards like this because I want by the time I turn it like this, it will give me a neat finishing. Okay, so I'll go ahead and pleat it on this line that I made here. I'll be pleating and sewing, pleating and sewing. Then afterwards, I'll flip it down. Now by the time I fix it on this line and drop it, you know, it's supposed to give me 5 inches. That means it will stay right here. Okay, by the time I place it here, I'm expecting that it will drop here like this. After fixing the first one, I'll go up by 2 inches from the point where the first one stopped, which will be here. Okay, that is where I'll fix the other one. And then the other one, the second one, is expected to stop here. Okay, then on this same line that the second one is going to stop, I'll go up by 2 inches, which is going to be here, and I'll place the third one right here, and then it's going to stop here. So I'll be able to fold in the bottom part of it and finish it for a neat finishing. But I'll place the first one and then come back and show you guys how it looks like. So guys, I have attached the first layer. Like I said, this is what it's looking like. So I placed it up like this and sewed on it, and when I flip it down, this is what it's looking like. It's really very wavy now, but after I'm done, I'll go ahead and give it a good press so it will be able to relax a little bit. Now the next one I'm going to attach is the one at the end here, and for that I came up by 6 inches from the hem line. I came up by 6 inches from the hem and made a straight line. So this is where I'm going to sew on the last one. I'll just place it like so and pleat and sew. I'll pleat until I get to the end here. And for the third one, I'll come in between this one and this one and stitch at the center, so that at the end of the day I'll have 3 layers in front. And whatever I do on the front part, I'll do exactly on the 2 back pieces. And after I'm done, I'll come and show you guys the final look. Right now I am done fixing the gathers to the down part of the dress. This is for the front part. You can see the 3 layers of gathers that I have here for the front and also for the 2 back pieces. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is to join the side front and side back together. I'll open the front part, match the back with the front side by side, and I'm going to join the side and the shoulders as well. And after I'm done joining them at the sides, I'll go ahead and fix the zipper on the center back, and I'll be right back. So guys, I have joined the sides together and also fixed the zip on the back side. I also have my sleeve right here. Is a basic sleeve, long sleeve that I cut out already. I'll close from the top to somewhere around the elbow. It depends on where you want the opening to start. If I look on the screen now, you see that the sleeve has an opening, and that is what I am trying to demonstrate for you right here. I will stitch from the top to somewhere around 9 inches and then leave the rest open. Then I'll go ahead to fold in the rough sides and finish it up so it appears neat, and I'll also fold the hem of the sleeve. Okay, so after I'm done with stitching the side close, I'll now go ahead and fix this on the armhole of the dress. I've attached the sleeve right now and everything is coming out nicely. The next thing I'm going to do is to cut the collar. Okay, for the collar, I'm going to fold my fabric unbiased. The length of the collar I am cutting, including sewing allowance, is going to be 18 inches. So I'll fold my fabric in a triangular form like this. For the width, I want the width to be 1.5 inches after joining to the neckline. Okay, that means I'm going to be cutting it at 2 inches. So I'll measure, let's say it starts here. From the folded edge, from this folded edge, I'll measure 2 inches till I get to 18 inches. The 18 inches stops here. So there I'll measure 2 inches. So after I've gotten my 18 inches length, I'll go ahead and cut it out. So this is the collar. So I'll be fixing it on the back neckline. I'll measure the back neckline, these 2 sides of the back neckline. From where the zipper is to where I want the collar to stop is 4 inches. I believe it's also the same thing for this side, 4 inches. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'll fold it into two like so. I'll stitch close the sides. Here I'll leave 4 inches. From here I'll measure 4 inches and mark. That is after I have closed the sides, okay, because the sides are going to be closed just like the zipper side is. So I'll close it by half inch, and then I'll measure from from the point where I stitched down. I'll measure 4 inches and make a mark. On this side I'll come in and measure 4 inches, that's 1.5, and make a mark. Then from here to here I'll stitch it close on half inch. Do you understand? So from here, from this point to this point, I'll stitch close or by half inch, and then leave this side that is going to be attached to the center back open. Only the sides will be closed, the front side will be closed as well. Now the side that will be attached to the back side will be open. So guys, I'm done stitching the collar and I went ahead to give it a good press. I also left the space that I'll be attaching on the back neckline area. Okay, so only that side is open, these two sides, as you can see here. Now what I'm going to do is I'll bring the neckline like so. I'm going to, because this open part is going to be at the center back, so I'm going to fold it like this and make sure one open part is ending on this side while the other one is ending on this side. So from here I'll fix it in by half of an inch. I'm going to pin it in place. So I'll pin it until I get to where the back neckline ends, and then I'll take this other one as well. I'll fold it to like this. I'll insert the end at the end of this collar, as you can see me doing now. I'll pin this side as well. So I'll go ahead and insert the remaining part into the space I created, and then I'm going to top stitch from here to here, and then top stitch from here to here, making sure I insert the neckline by half of an inch into the collar. Okay, I'll do it, and that'll be all for this tutorial. Here is the outcome of the dress. You can tell it is really beautiful. I hope you got value from this tutorial. If you did, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel, and I hope to see you again in my next tutorial. Bye.